Hey there, and Happy New Year. Although, I have to tell you, I'm not much of a New Year's person. Um, I watch The Twilight Zone or I watch Harry Potter. And these days, I'm as likely to fall asleep before midnight as I am to notice that the clock has even struck 12 without very much fanfare. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions because I believe if something is worth doing, then you just do it already. And I don't believe that there's any magic in the hands of time turning that corner. Um, and that's because the slate isn't wiped clean. Because the problems from the year prior, it pushes through that imaginary barrier of time. And most years, that's enough for me. My life clicks along. I go to work. I make sure the mortgage is paid. I love all my family, but this year it just feels different. New Year's is landing in a way that's unsettling. It's palpable. There's a low-level anxiety that settled into my chest over the last 11 months, and now it's a locomotive. It pounds even while I'm at rest, and it reminds me without repose that all is not well. And I know why. You do too, right? Because another year mirroring the one that we just endured is untenable. The injustices and atrocities are too numerous to count. The lies and calculated division has been normalized. And there's no end in sight. I mean, I know there's no reset button, but damn it, if there was ever a time for one, this would be it. It could be a happy new year. If the people who were supposed to be leading this country and defending the Constitution would remember that we were never a Christian nation, and that part of the joy of living in this country is the freedom to believe, or not, in any religion, with one, many, or no gods, with a distinct separation between church and state. If people were no longer being terrorized, arrested, and deported, not for actual crimes, but instead targeted for the color of their skin and the language that they speak, abducted off the streets, guilty until proven innocent, treated inhumanely, with no legal recourse, even when following the rules. If women were given back their bodily autonomy to determine their own needs and reproductive health care without religious interference, to not have to worry about dying in a hospital parking lot because of an incomplete miscarriage, or tragically kept alive, against the will of loved ones on life support, to keep a fetus alive. If the country had health care that was universal and provided care to all, so that people didn't lose their life savings, their homes, and their actual lives. And we weren't sending money to countries that do have universal health care to help keep their economies afloat without caring for our own. If we had social safety nets, if billionaires paid their fair share of taxes, if Trump's name was taken off the Kennedy Center, if the Gulf of Mexico would show that on Google Maps, if we weren't blowing up Venezuelan boats, bombing other countries, or kowtowing to dictators, if we weren't making a mockery of the White House by selling cars on the lawn, cementing over the Rose Garden, and tearing wings down with no plan or governance, if the lawmakers in this country would follow the law and our supreme justices weren't partisan, if the LGBTQIA plus community was allowed to thrive instead of being vilified, if people would open a book, their minds, their hearts, and realize that people come in many variations, and that should be celebrated, if people would just believe the women, if we could finally agree that children matter, that people kill people, and people with guns kill more people, and laws, like so many other countries have, limiting guns or at least having stricter protections in place, will prevent mass deaths. If food prices would go down, SNAP benefits would go up, and school lunches be provided for all because food is a necessity. If people in this country would stop being so damned egocentric, believe that truth is a virtue, not believe in the barrage of daily lies, and understand that other countries have thrived even while treating their least fortunate with dignity. If only ad infinitum, ad nauseum, add your own. So this year, I'm breaking my no resolution rule because I can't go into 2026 without some vision and some plan. I can't just accept the status quo. So my resolution is to be loud, to try and be less tired, and be sure not to give up, to continue to be soft, to not let this harden me, to hold space for humanity, to continue to fight, even when I feel like all I'm doing is screaming into the void, because I have to believe that my little voice, combined with so many others, will one day restore us to some level of sanity. So, on that note, Happy New Year's, peace, love, happiness, and joy.